Trauma triggers are anything that activates our core wound. And the problem with trauma triggers is they typically pull us out of what we call the window of tolerance. Let me explain. Think about a window, and as long as you stay within the frame of that window, you can stay calm, cool, connected, grounded. You've got good self-esteem, and you stay connected to yourself and to others. When your trauma gets triggered, what it does is it pulls us out of that window of tolerance. If we pop above, we go into fight or flight. Now, this is very characteristic of the more anxious or avoidant styles of attachment, meaning that if you're more anxious in your style, then you get flooded with emotion and you want to repair with your partner immediately, and you might actually put all kinds of pressure on your partner in order to make those repairs. If you go into flight, then you get flooded, but your body tells you it's safest to shut down. So you begin to withdraw, you go quiet. You don't want to do anything that makes the potentially fighting even worse. The other option is to go below. And so often if we go down and pop down out of that window, then we go into more perhaps people pleasing, or we go more into disassociation or even just freezing in the moment. So the goal is to be able to try to keep ourselves in that window of tolerance. And when we do this, we can use all parts of our brain. So we can integrate our feelings with our thoughts. And we can usually communicate a lot better our wants, our needs, or any particular boundaries we might have with our partner. So when our trauma gets triggered, what it does is it hijacks our central nervous system. And we either pop up above the window or we pop down below. Here's something you can do. If you find that you have been triggered and your core trauma wound has been activated, try something called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. What that looks like is this. Start with 5 things that you can see. Might be 5 colors around the room, and you start naming those colors. Then you want to see 4 things that you can touch. So look at 4 things and actually touch. Maybe it's your pants or your shirt. Maybe it's your watch. Maybe it's the table you're sitting at. Then you want to see 3 things that you can smell. So what 3 things can you potentially smell? What 2 things then can you potentially hear? And finally, what's 1 thing that you can taste? Can you taste your own saliva in your mouth? Do you taste your breakfast that you had? All you're trying to do is ground yourself and bring yourself back to the here and now. What this typically will do is allow you to come back down from fight or flight or from freeze and fawn back into a place where you can begin to integrate your brain so you can integrate your feelings and your thinking, and it pulls you back into that window of tolerance.